I come from many people in my family who have master's degrees and PhDs in psychology. So when it comes to doing reverse psychology, it's not going to work.
So you put on 349 pounds in a span of birth to whenever you hit it. That means at some point you knew you were big, meaning they either made fun of you in elementary, middle, high, or all of them.
Welcome back to the channel. Don Lexi here with another reaction. I found this conversation on Fatty's channel. Again, there's been a lot of hot panels going on over there. Tommy Sotomayor had to cook an overweight woman because she was getting jazzy at the mouth, and she was a psychologist. And you know how the more educated a woman tends to get, the higher the delusion tends to get. So the conversation got interesting. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Let's not waste 1 minute.
So go ahead, sir. What is the real question, Tommy? What's the real question?
Let me ask this young lady, are you a virgin?
Yes.
And
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
And how old are you?
I am 27 years old. No, I am not a virgin. I'm not a virgin.
Okay. So when you gave up your virginity to someone, that's something you can only give up once, right?
That is correct.
And typically for a woman, that is one of the things that is highly valued by men. Yes?
You're absolutely right.
So
I was, to be real, I was 17 years old. I was 17 years old when that happened. I was a senior in high school. I didn't know who I was. I grew up in a Pentecostal household out at that. I saw everybody in my
don't read the comment.
I seen everybody in my school that I was going to at the moment being sexual and doing all these promiscuous things, and I was that girl out of the group who had that dream of being married and, you know, having that white picket fence and saving myself for a good guy. And all the other girls in my in the high school that I was attending at the time, it was not like that, from my knowledge. And I kind of fell into peer pressure. I wanted to be like, you know, grown and experienced it. So I went out and did it, and I wish I would have never done it. You know, things happen. People make mistakes and stuff like that. You know, it was a lesson learned, but I had to learn who I was as a woman. And now that I am 27 years old, I you know, learning who I am as a woman and learning that I am not my body. Because as a plus size woman, we kind of fall into that trap of thinking that all we have to offer is our body, because society makes us feel that way. We often get fetishized a lot. So, yeah.
I'm looking at you. I'm listening to you. And I'm learning that you're a liar.
Now, before Tommy even gives his spiel, I want to be the first to say everything that she had to say right there is complete horseshit. Terrible. This has nothing to do with society at large and the way people think collectively. This has everything to do with the way men have always looked at women. Men have always favored fit women over obese women. There is no gimmick. There's no propaganda behind it. It's just how men are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've only had sex one time then?
No.
Gotcha. You see where I'm going with this. Now, first off, I want to address something. There's some idiot in the comment section named Janae. First off, Janae, if people are having these conversations and they're trying to learn something from them, people should be as honest as possible. So for you saying, I wouldn't answer that girl and that's too personal, and then why have the conversation? There would be no reason for people to have these conversations if you're either going to get up here and lie or just not answer anything at all. So
and I'm not in the line. I'm not in the lying business. I am, to answer Miss Janae, hi, how are you? I'm going to be completely honest. If somebody asks me a question, I'm very real. I have nothing to hide, baby. You can ask me anything, and I ain't ashamed. Not die.
Be having honest conversations and then start saying, and I want all y'all men to realize that, not from the young woman that's up here talking, but realize that this is what women do. what that girl in the comment section is saying and other women are saying. That's how they talk to you when they tell you how many people they've slept with or anything that they've ever done. They lie. They say things. That's why when women get to a certain weight, they won't answer that question. When they get to a certain age, they think that's rude. That makes no sense. If you ask the man, have he ever been with a man, he wouldn't say that's rude. That's a silly response to say that's rude. The common sense is that person that's asking you wants to know. Now, let me ask you something, young lady. All right, so Antonio, let me ask you, since we're there, how much do you weigh? You keep saying I'm a plus size person. That isn't specific.
Can't be
How
nothing
much
but
do I
that.
weigh? I weigh 298. I recently lost a few pounds. I was pushing 350.
Okay, so what? Okay.
Ma'am, it doesn't matter that you were one form of big as hell and you've now transformed to a lesser form of big as hell. Still overweight. You women always do this. You're like, I know I'm an astronomical weight, but you should have seen me 2 years ago. I was like twice that size. It's like, well, you're still in a messed up position. So let's not act like you've actually improved.
So you get nothing. You lose.
I've always played sports. I've always been in sports, shot put, and discus, swim team, all that. I've always been in sports, so I always carried it a little bit well. But I started to.
I want to let all of you overweight people who say you carry your weight well and you do well in sports. I want you to know something, and I speak for all of society when I say this. We don't care, and we can still see that you're fat and unhealthy. I'm just saying. It doesn't make it better that you still can run a little bit faster than you should be able to run, that you can hit us full splits or whatever the case may be. You big people are always doing that. You're trying to like show off your fat person competence. And the truth is way more. It's not about what you can do at that size. It's about the fact that you aren't healthy and you don't look good.
Realized that I wanted to take control of my life, no matter how much I love myself at 350, and no matter how much I love myself now at 298. Health is everything. Health is wealth. So I started taking control of my life, and working out and stuff like that, and I lost over 50 pounds, and now I'm at 298.
Now, okay, I don't want to say something, and I'll keep going, but I just want to say something.
298 is
still preface things, which is what a lot of women do. You heard an answer, a question, and the answer was 298. But what you did was you tried to explain it to minimize what it was.
Yeah.
It's just like when your first time you had sex, you said, well, I was young. Women always preface things. That's like a guy saying, if you ask him again, have you ever slept with a man? And he'd be like, I was a teen and, a nigga held me down.
Or it's like asking a man.
He trying to explain it to you. I was in jail and, I needed a pack of cigarettes.
Or it's like asking a man how big his penis is and he says 7 on a good day.
Yeah, or if he started talking about, well, why does that matter? If you love me, he starts saying other things. When we're proud of something, you know how quick we say it?
Exactly.
Like that. If someone asks you, do you have a degree? You ain't gonna say, well, when I was in middle school, I was thinking about what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And no, you'd say, yes, I do. And tell them right there about what it was.
Yeah. So let me say that I am 298. So so eliminate all the health and wealth and stuff. 298. Now, what's your other question?
Okay, so I wanted to ask part of what you were saying. You said I loved myself at 350. You said no matter how much I love myself, I realized it wasn't healthy. What does I love myself mean to you? What does the phrase mean? Because you've said it a few times.
I love myself, meaning you look in that mirror and you say, I love myself, no matter what people say about you. They talked about Jesus.
Girl, girl, you just don't know.
Ma'am, don't bring Jesus into this. I'm not even a religious person, and I'm still like, don't use the Lord's name in vain. I say that because it's a false equivocation. You're like, well, I love myself at this size. Like, I love me at 298. Well, by that same argument, if you're looking for men who are financially stable in the dating market, but the men who don't care about saving money or being financially literate are all running up to you trying to force you to date them, and they're saying that their financial literacy or their inability to be stable doesn't matter, and don't focus on it. I'm here to tell you that that's how you sound when you tell men not to focus on your weight because you're satisfied with it.
Saying, so what makes you
Let me
think
ask you,
that
let
you're
me stop
better?
you right there. Hold on.
Okay.
If you and I were in a relationship, if you and I were in a relationship and I said, I love you, and you said, what does that mean? And I said, you know, I just love you. I couldn't
That don't mean
describe this
nothing.
thing that I say is important. And anybody, I want all y'all to hear, if someone tells you they feel a certain way for you and you ask them to explain it and they cannot, do they really mean that? Or is it just positioned to be this positive phrase that all of us are taught? And I say this because Black women are taught these empowering phrases that mean absolutely nothing. Ask a Black woman to describe herself. Matter of fact, before I even try to pretend, I'm going to ask you, describe yourself. What are the things you say are good qualities about yourself? Describe yourself.
Oh, I love that question.
Ew.
So,
Keep your
describe
tongue in your mouth.
myself. I am very powerful. I am ambitious. I know who I am as a woman. You can't manipulate me. I come from a mother I come from many people in my family who have master's degrees and PhDs in psychology. So when it comes to doing reverse psychology, it's not going to work. I'm very hard to manipulate, and I'm a self-aware person. I know what I want. I am gorgeous, big eyes and all.
Wait a second, shawty. Gorgeous? Yeah. Even if you were on the high side of average, which means you're the best good-looking woman in your local area, that woman doesn't even get to use gorgeous. So why do you get to call yourself gorgeous? And you just mentioned a bunch of things. You just listed off a whole list of things that men don't even care about, things that aren't significant to men. So I say that to say that if everything that you described about what you bring to a relationship, men don't find valuable, that means you're in trouble.
This bitch is not all that. And I'm mad.
What else? I'm a Leo too, so I love to talk about myself. Thank you. What else?
Okay. You see, I want y'all to understand what I was getting at is typically Black women will say they're strong and the words mean nothing. What do you mean? You can lift weights?
Nothing.
What does that mean? You can push big boxes? What does a strong woman mean?
So when strong, when I'm saying strong, when you have the weight of your shoulders and you can cry in your room and get back out there, that's what I mean strong. When I say powerful is when you go through a lot of things and you can get back out there and still hustle and still say, I still got this, whether you have somebody in your corner or not. That is what I consider strong. So when you have that narrative of Black women saying, oh, I was taught to be strong and I was taught to, taught to think this way, right? When you're taught to think this way, right? A lot of Black women are taught to be masculine and strong. No, that's me personally. That's just how I am as a person.
He knows he doesn't know everything. But and yet you talk to Black women, typically they know it all. You were talking about this and some of it was very honest. But then the other end wasn't. You were saying, well, imagine I'm a man and I'm talking about the reason why I haven't advanced at my job. And somebody says, why haven't you advanced at your job? You're still working in the mailroom. And they said, my response was, well, typically what they're looking for in advancement is somebody with at least an associate's degree. If I said that and I was looking to advance in that company, what would you be expecting that I would do if I really wanted to advance in that company? Go to school, right? Get some kind of degree. If I just claimed I know exactly why they're not moving me up. You just claimed you've been big for a long time. You also claim that the men don't want to take you seriously because of that size. So the same way I should have went and got my education by now, you should have, if you loved yourself and wanted to increase your ability.
Lost weight.
Yes, you would have not, because remember, if you got to be 350, I tell everybody that has a lot of weight on them. I ask, how much did you weigh when you were born? How much did you weigh when you were born? How much did you weigh when you were born? Do you know?
I want to say 7 pounds.
So I want you to now give me the difference between 7 pounds and 350.
I can give you the difference.
So what it is basically 349 and what 5? 349 and 5. So you put on 349 pounds in a span of birth to whenever you hit it. That means
I
at
sure
some
did.
point you knew you were big, meaning they either made fun of you in elementary, middle, high, or all of
That's a
them.
big bitch.
So
they
if
made
you knew it was causing you social issues, then one would have, because there's some stuff we can't help. If you're a short guy, you can't help being a
Can't
short
help
guy.
it.
People make fun of your little ass. But you do like Kevin Hart. You go out and you do something to mitigate being short. Women typically, fatter women, bigger women, typically do something to mitigate that. One of the things that a lot of big women do to mitigate, because I have a big cousin, and I still to this day always wondered how she ended up getting a man to marry her that married her. He not only married her, but he married her on Channel 11. Like he one of the most beautiful setups for a marriage I've ever seen. He's got he had what is that where you have to stick yourself with? Why am I getting old like this? Diabetes. And he's prone to go into whatever. So he had them call her job and tell her he passed out and went into a diabetic coma. He had the news station here in Atlanta filming this. She comes home, ambulance is there and everything. She crying. I ain't never seen my mean ass cousin cry. This bitch is horrible. But she was crying. He was on the thing and he's like, I got one thing to tell you. And he pulls out a ring and she punches him in the stomach. And it's on the news. You can go look it up. My cousin, Brett Harris. Well, they got a divorce because he was fucking around, but that's different. They had stayed married. She got 2 kids with him. The thing about it is, let me tell you how she ended up getting this man. And he was rich. Like he was rich. Even though she was a bitch, she was smart enough not to act that way to get him. She was completely different with him. And we couldn't explain it because she understood that there would be a difference. Now, when she got married to him, she blew the fuck up, got really big. I told him, and everybody got mad at me when I found out he was cheating. I said, I understand. She got huge.
It's weird when a guy starts lacking financially in a long-term relationship or in a marriage, and the woman starts acting erratic or she starts sleeping with other men, thereby dissolving the marriage. People don't really come down as hard on the woman as much, but a woman is allowed to get a ring while she's fit, earn a ring fit, and then get fat later on, and maybe even stop putting out. And if the guy cheats or divorces the woman, he's considered a bad guy.
I don't want you. No, I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you. I don't want you no more.
Wild work.
Cheated. They got a divorce. Guess what she did when she got a divorce when she wanted to get back in the dating game? She lost all that fucking weight. So for her husband, she wouldn't lose that weight. But she knew she couldn't get another man with that weight. She lost it all, went right back out there in the streets and got her another husband. The point is, you can have your attitude or you can have your looks, but you can't go without either. And I can't say you got a bad
Take a
attitude.
struggle.
I just think that a lot of your insecurities, you mask them with these words that mean nothing, which keep you from working on the problem.
Yep.
The problem is what the problem is. If you're admitting, huh? Well, yes, that's what I'm. Yes, ma'am. You just proved it right there. You said to you. Well, I started off by saying my thoughts.
The issue with that logic is that that's not just the way he feels. That's the way the majority of men in the dating market feel. Of course, you have your selective men, you have your outlier men who they deal with women who are obese, and that's the only way that they like them. But for that one guy, there's 80 other men who have to have their woman fit. So that's 1 in 80. For every one guy who has to have their woman big as hell, every other guy has to have their girl snatched. So that's not really a strong argument. Or
When
it's
you're
a false
talking to me,
equivocation.
I'm a psychologist. I don't mean anything when I have discussions with people like this. I get paid to have discussions with people like this.
You say you're a psychologist?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I cannot argue with anybody. When I say I cannot argue with anybody, I cannot argue with any man who's a psychologist and who is a black man who just called his cousin a bitch.
What if she is one, though? So tired of this. When they know that they can't stump the person who's across from them, they try to derail the conversation to an insignificant semantic and just say, well, instead of us having a conversation about information that I don't really know anything about, I'll direct him to how he's a bad guy for calling his aunt the B word. Yeah, that'll get people distracted from the fact that I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're a crook.
Let's get back into it.
I can't do that.
That's what she
You
was.
win.
I was being honest, right?
You
And
win,
she went
sir.
on my show. She said that she was.
Damn.
She knew
He
what
won
her
already
shortcomings
before
were.
that.
A lot of times, the best person is when you know what your shortcomings are. Think about it. If I know I'm in a wheelchair, why the fuck I'm trying to go upstairs? I'm wasting everybody's time.
This
Thank
is
you,
the one of
Khadijah,
the
for
most.
laughing. Thank you, Khadijah, for laughing. Khadijah sitting there and pictured in her mind a nigga in a wheelchair talking about, I got it.
This is one of the most insane podcasts I've ever been on.
No, that's Tommy's fault. It's Tommy. You have to go to tjskoc.com and file a
Yes.
complaint. That's his fault. Team Fatty is positive, fat, body.
Oh, I haven't said anything not positive though. Think about
No,
what
but we're going to get there.
not positive.
No, because I
no.
wanna know.
Oh. Fuck all that. Nah, ain't no fuck all that. You trying
What did he say exactly that wasn't positive? Eddie, like, if you're going to be able to hold panels like this and be able to do it successfully, you're going to have to grow more of a backbone, and you're going to have to stop treating these women like they're little kids that need their hand held. These broads have had 3 or 4 generations and decades of being able to say what they want, unpoliced, and tell men what they are and what they aren't and what they should be. We haven't even been out here for 5 years telling women what they should do, and men like you are working overtime to try to create some comfy cushion for these women to lay in. And I'm here to tell you, my brother, it's not going to get you anywhere. They're not going to give you any butt. They're not going to respect you more than the men who are honest. I'm just saying, let's get back into
I want to
it.
know, like, do you have your master's degree? Because I come from a family of
What does that
psychology,
even
and
gotta do
I've
with
actually
anything?
pinpoint a few manipulation tactics and also a few things that you have done. But I
Oh,
paid
please tell them.
attention to
Tell them. No,
you.
go ahead.
Again,
Tell
You
them.
got very,
derailing to
you are
semantics.
very strategic.
Next question. See ya.
Instead of talking about the topic at hand and talking about the debate and talking about her weight and why it's holding her back, she'd rather talk about how he is a psychologist, and because he has a master's degree in psychology, he can be manipulative and strategic. So it's not really fair talking to you because it's kind of like you have a leg up. What she just said was one of her qualities. Not more than 5 minutes ago, she said that was one of her qualities, that because she comes from a background in psychology, you can't stump her or whatever. So why should you have a problem talking to somebody who is educated in psychology if you're this psychology wizard? Because, you come from a family of learned psychologists.
You are very
Unbelievable.
strategic, and you use your psychology degree. I don't know what, if you have a bachelor's or a master's in psychology, but I've
You
noticed
said
that
he has a master's.
Yes, good. I have watched you use your
You're only
psychology
saying that to
degree
discredit
in
him.
order to argue, and also you use it as like a manipulation tactic because you have that psychology knowledge that a lot of people don't have. So a lot of things that you've been
What
saying,
does that got
I
to do
just
with
let you
anything?
speak because I grew up in a family
Don't speak.
household.
Don't speak vaguely, ma'am. Don't speak vaguely.
There
See,
you
that's
go
what
again.
people need to not do. And I'm
You just did
specific
it
when I'm
again.
speaking to you. Hold on. No. I
What are
didn't
you
do
talking
it.
about?
If you're going to say someone's doing something, point it out so the rest of the
And
world can
there
see
is
it.
the belittling manipulation tactic where you feel like somebody is challenging your opinion. You
No, I
belittle
didn't.
them.
Oh, here we go again. Damn.
God, you spiritual whistleblower, narcissism police women, you women make me sick. You don't even know what a narcissist is. You barely ever know about the psychological study that you're wielding around. You women, if anything, are projecting your narcissism out on the men, and I can prove it. You women can't find a flaw within yourself. Kendra G proved it, and on these other shows, it becomes obvious. You women have never even come near reproach. You've never even thought about where you're flawed. Not in a critical way or an objective way. Let's get back into the clip.
You didn't challenge my opinion. Which part of my opinion did you challenge?
I know, right?
Ladies and gentlemen,
anytime I have
name one part of my opinion she challenged.
And then there is stage 2 where you get upset when somebody feels like there
now
are
she's calling it upset. So let me tell you what's happening now. That's why I don't use it. Because let me tell you what she's doing now. Now she's being an asshole and saying absolutely nothing. I haven't disrespected the woman. I have been very forward. And if there was anything she thought that I said that was out of line, she could have repeated it. But she doesn't. Then when a person says, why would you call me? It's like calling someone a thief. And they said, oh, well, tell them what I stole. I just know you like to steal. Yeah. And then say you're an asshole because you get mad because you're no evidence. With zero evidence, ma'am. I just asked you to tell them what you noticed. I can do it.
I'm interested because I love psychology. Even though I do not agree. I love psychology. So just hear me out. Relax.
I'm on Antonia's side, by the way.
You called out something. Why not tell them specifically what it was? Why is that?
You know what I just did? You know what I just did to prove my point? I'm really sick in the head when it comes to psychology. You know what I just did? I did. The tactic that I just...
Y'all can tell why she has no man. Listen to her. She knows it all now.
Tommy, why you
couldn't figure out that nigga was just fucking you? Excuse me. Those niggas was just fucking you. Why you couldn't figure that out?
All right.
One second.
He's just talking.
1 second. I need one microphone at a time. I think Tommy is filibustering because she's winning.
All right.
Go ahead and tell you.
I'm filibustering.
You said you think Tommy is filibustering because she's winning? Damn, I'm not gonna lie, Fatty. I thought I liked you. I think you're just another one of these pander bear content creators. Why even have a dating and relationship channel if you're just simply going to pander to the women? I humbly reject your request to come onto your show because I like to be on shows where men are running things. And Fatty, I don't really like how you run your platform. You're pandering to the women. I think you're trying to fish for booty instead of like trying to make these conversations balanced. You've really put a nasty taste in my mouth. These women are not going to reward you for this. As soon as the opportunity comes for them to cut you and to slit you at the throat, they're going to take it. So you said that he's filibustering, and this woman went on and went on and on and on and on about psychological knowledge she does not have, and she went on and on about how she should be proud of weight she shouldn't be proud of. Tommy comes back with logic, and you say that he's filibustering because he's not winning, and he in fact is winning the debate. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what your objective is as a content creator, Fatty. I am. If you got a problem, anything I got to say, just email me and we can talk about it.
The tactic that I just used, I did that as an act to see how you react, and you went for it.
Now, Antonio, let me say one thing real quick, Antonio.
Yo, this is ridiculous.
1 second. So, Antonio, this is what we have to do, right?
Yes, sir.
If we put an accusation on somebody, we have to pinpoint exactly what they did. So the follow-up question is, what did Tommy say? It was either manipulation, whatever the things that you saw. Tell me one thing that he said, one point, one topic, one policy that you felt like he was trying either to manipulate, gaslight, whatever you had going on. Like, can you provide us with one point?
Yes. Niggas, people in this comment section talking about some, look at, he's emotional. So they fuck me. Then they
are not muted.
And then they laugh.
Okay.
You are not muted. That's what's gonna happen. I chat.
Tommy, you are not muted.
Oh, excuse me. Let me mute myself.
Damn. Go ahead, Antonio. Tell us.
I knew, and it's so crazy because I knew he was gonna do that. He said he was like a psychologist. I was like, okay. I knew every single thing that he asked me. I knew every single thing he was asking me. It wasn't genuine.
Like, if you were so overly prepared for everything that he was going to ask, why didn't you have a proper response for everything that he asked, or you couldn't retort in a way that made sense?
Tell he's not genuine, so that's why I did that to him.
But Antonio, you can prove it, and that was his point, right?
Yeah, like you can.
If
I actually can prove it. It happened when he started mentioning certain things, like in the beginning. We talked about so much stuff. if you talk about so much stuff, and my mind runs like a rabbit on a treadmill.
But that's
But
fair. But
I knew by the things that he was saying and how he pinpointed them. I knew that that's what he does. He personally attacks people on purpose, and he's not used to people challenging him. And he used his psychology degree to get.
Ma'am, you weren't even personally attacked. What are you talking about? He never personally attacked you once. He asked you what your weight was. You were honest. You disclosed what your weight was. And then he went on to give his personal perspective on what the situation was. This is a clear example that, just like what Corey Holcomb just said some months back, that it's probably worse to be honest than to be a misogynist. What a great quote, because nowadays, just for men to be able to express themselves and articulate themselves honestly is now starting to be viewed as a bad thing.
But like I said, you can't.
No, Antonio, but that's fair. But that's the point, and this was the point of the conversation. When you accuse somebody, like, 1 second, Antonio. If you what did he say that you disagree? Just one thing.
Just one thing.
I knew where I disagreed. Well, first of all, his first opinion about me losing my virginity at 17, and then also paying attention to the comments when he should have been paying attention to what I was saying, and he was agreeing with the people in the comments saying, "Oh, she was 17 and she was getting fucked," and whoa. When half of y'all mamas was getting fucked at 17, and that's how you got on.
What does that got to do with anything? Complete evasion of accountability. Instead of talking about why you were 17 and busting down, you want to say that everybody else's mom was busting down at 17, even though that's not true, ma'am. Like, that's you. That was your situation. That everybody else's mom was getting cracked at 17.
Rusty ass. Whoa! My mama dead. Now I got to cut you. That's the rule. Cut you.
Fucking 17.
No, but what I'm saying,
exactly.
the human. Just listen to me, love. When you're a female at 17. You're still young, so your brain does not process things very well. So he was saying, hold on. So what he was saying, oh, you say you know about manipulation and you can't be manipulated. Yeah, at the age of 17, I can be manipulated.
I agree with you. So let's do this. What about 27? What about 24? Because you said you're not a virgin, so I believe you're sexually active, right?
And it's so crazy because a lot of men think like that.
There you go, fatty. Get off that pander shit. It's like you don't even mind pressing the women when you're in the right. But when the men get on the women, you think it's your job to stand in front of them and say, "No, gallant man, this is still an innocent woman, and let's be sensitive," or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Forget all that body positivity crap and all that, whatever. I'm telling you, you can do all that catering to the algorithm all they want, fatty. If this algorithm wants to ban you, that's what they're going to do.
She's a virgin. There's a lot of women who have kids.
You can't do it
that's not
right
the
and they're not virgins.
Antonio, this is the thing, right? If you're saying, I was young and I was easily influenced at 17, then your argument for not having a relationship is these men come to you, they just want to fuck, they just want your body, and they want to leave. That's you being a grown-up and still being manipulated by these people. Right? So what did he say that he's wrong? He's actually factually right.
If you can admit that he was factually right, why did you say that he was filibustering because he wasn't winning? Was it just to make her feel good? Because I don't think you should say anything just to make a woman feel good. Let's get back into it.
Manipulated. You can't manipulate somebody.
You miss my point. Listen carefully. Antonio, when he asked you, tell me your strong suits, you told this. I know how to identify these. I'm not easily manipulated. I'm powerful and all that. But that contradicts what you said before, saying that these men come to you for sex and they try to bamboozle out of your pennies when in reality they don't want a relationship. They just pretend they do, which goes against what we're talking about. Like,
thing to do is lie and be bombastic as they speak. But when you get home,
absolutely right.
The only person, no, ma'am, I muted my mic. But what happens when you get home, you have to look in that mirror and you can watch people, you can listen to what people say, or you can watch what people do. People say anything and most people can talk a good game.
Yes.
Watch what they do. So when someone says they love themselves and they all this great thing like this, They would put themselves in the best position to win, not in a position to lose.
I already
That's
do,
what
baby.
that means. Ma'am, could you please mute yourself for a second, just like I had
It's
to?
like
I
she's
did
not
you see
even
how I
trying
was
to be
gesticulating
considerate.
in the back, but I was muted so y'all could get y'all words out because I'm paying for this one. I'm gonna give you more money, fatty.
Damn,
because I need to
$9.
hear this.
Please.
Yeah, I need to hear y'all need to hear this. Whenever I open my mouth, one thing I learned from my mother: God is going to give us everybody a certain amount of breath. Use it wisely. I don't know when my last one is, but whenever I come and I talk to people, I really do want to help them. That's what hurts me when I watch what people write. And when I listen to someone who I'm talking to now, then try to turn what I'm saying into something else.
Right.
Because there's a whole lot of people who are watching. And most of the time I'm talking to someone, I'm not talking to them, I'm talking through them. I'm talking to other people who actually want to hear something, get a solution, and work on themselves.
Come on, Uncle
So when
Tommy.
you watch someone like this, I know a lot of you black women think, why does he talk so much about black women? I'm raising two of them. One of them on her way to college, one of them about to go. The reason I talk so much is because I don't want them to ever walk around and be delusional like the majority of black women are. They will go around and tell white women, y'all cultural appropriating, while they walk around with weave on their head every day. They will go around, talk about somehow everybody want them, but you've never heard a white woman complain, black women are taking the best white men. But every time a black man is with a white woman, black women complain. Talking about somebody trying to be like them and all this ridiculous shit. Talking about I'm the thing, black girl magic, and all these words that they're using that they don't apply in real life. If you're going to say you're a queen, why would you act ratchet? Why would you do the same in the same time? But that's what's happening. Every one of them say, I know my worth. Anybody watching this show, tell me you've heard a black woman. Tell me if I'm lying, that you've heard a black woman say the words, I know my worth. And typically when they say it, it's somebody that done got their worth for nothing. So if you know your worth, why is it a man walking around with a one-night stand on your belt? If you know your worth, why is it a nigga that know he could fuck you by calling you at 3 a.m?
A lot of you overweight women, you women are going to be ended up with one night stands, situationships, situations that don't pan out to anything serious, way more than the women who decided to care about their body and get on a treadmill, hit some road work, get out there and walk, do whatever they have to do, dietary plan, whatever it might take to get yourself down to the ideal weight that you're supposed to be to and relative to your height, whatever the case may be. It's more important to figure that out probably than anything else when it comes to being a woman in the dating market. So I think he was right to look at a woman sitting at 300 pounds and tell her that she's the problem. And don't even look at men for what they should fix or who they should be until you look at you. Hit the subscribe button anyway out of the room. Also with notification bells to be notified every single time we post reactions just like this. I'll see you guys on the next one.